Genesis chapter 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was a void, without any living being, and was covered by a deep sea. Darkness covered the sea, and the Spirit of God was moving over the water. Then God said, "Let there be light," and the light began to exist. God saw that the light was good, and separated it from the darkness. God named the light day, and the darkness he named night. Evening passed and morning came. That was the first day. Then God said, "Let there be a division in the middle of the water to separate it into two parts." And so it happened. God made a division that separated the water into two parts. One part stayed below the division, and the other part stayed above. God named this division sky. Evening passed and morning came. That was the second day. And God said, "Let the water under the sky gather in one place, so that dry land may appear." And so it happened. God named the dry part land, and the gathered waters he named seas. And God saw that what he had done was good. Then he said, "Let the land produce all kinds of vegetation, that is, plants that yield seeds and trees that bear fruit." And so it happened. The land produced all kinds of vegetation, plants that yield seeds and trees that bear fruit. And God saw that what he had done was good. Evening passed and morning came. That was the third day. Then God said, "Let there be lights in the sky to separate day from night, and to mark the days, years, and seasons. These lights will shine in the sky to illuminate the earth." So it happened. God made the two great lights, the greater to govern the day, and the lesser to govern the night. And he also made the stars. God placed these lights in the sky to illuminate the earth, to govern the day and night, and to separate light from darkness. And God saw that what he had done was good. Evening passed and morning came. That was the fourth day. Then God said, "Let the waters be filled with all kinds of living beings, and let there be birds flying over the earth." So God created the great sea creatures and all species of living beings that move in the waters in great numbers. And he also created all species of birds. And God saw that what he had done was good. He blessed the living beings of the sea and said, "Increase greatly in number and fill the waters of the seas, and let the birds multiply on the earth." Evening passed and morning came. That was the fifth day. Then God said, "Let the land produce all kinds of animals, domestic, wild, and those that crawl on the ground, each according to its kind." And so it happened. God made the animals, each according to its kind, domestic animals, wild animals, and those that crawl on the ground. And God saw that what he had done was good. Then he said, "Now let us make human beings who will be like us, who will resemble us. They will have power over the fish, over the birds, over the domestic and wild animals, and over the animals that crawl on the ground." So God created human beings. He created them to resemble God. He created them male and female and blessed them, saying, "Have many children, spread throughout the earth, and dominate it. Have power over the fish of the sea, over the birds that fly, and over the animals that crawl on the ground. For your food I give you all the plants that produce seeds and all the trees that bear fruit. But for all the wild animals, for the birds and for the animals that crawl on the ground, I give grass and vegetables as food." And so it happened. And God saw that everything he had made was very good. Evening passed and morning came. That was the sixth day. Genesis chapter 2. Thus, the creation of the heavens and the earth and everything in them was completed. On the seventh day, God finished all the work he had done and rested from all his labor. Then he blessed the seventh day and set it apart as a sacred day, because on that day he completed all his work and rested. This is how the heavens and the earth were created. When the Lord God made the heavens and the earth, no grass or plants had yet sprouted, for the Lord had not sent rain, and there was no one to cultivate the land. But a stream rose from the earth and watered the ground. Then, from the dust of the earth, the Lord formed the human being. The Lord breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and thus he became a living being. Afterwards, the Lord God planted a garden in the east, in the region of Eden. There he placed the human he had formed. The Lord made all kinds of beautiful trees grow there, trees that produced good fruit to eat. In the middle of the garden stood the tree that gives life, and also the tree that gives the knowledge of good and evil. A river flowed from Eden to water the garden, and from there it divided, forming 4 rivers. The first is the Piscean, which winds through the region of Havilah, where there is gold. The gold of that land is pure. There is also a rare perfume and precious stones. The second river is called the Gihon. It encircles the entire land of Cush. The third river is the Tigris, which flows east of Assyria. And the fourth river is the Euphrates. Then the Lord God placed the man in the Garden of Eden to tend and cultivate it. And the Lord gave the man the following command: "You may eat the fruit of any tree in the garden, except from the tree that gives the knowledge of good and evil. Do not eat the fruit of that tree, for on the day you eat it, you will surely die." Then the Lord said, "It is not good for the man to live alone. I will make someone to help him, as if she were his other half." After the Lord God formed from the earth all the wild animals and all the birds, he brought them to the man to see what he would name them. And they were called by the names the man gave them. He named the birds and all the domestic and wild animals. But for the man no helper was found, who was like his other half. So the Lord God caused the man to fall into a deep sleep. While he slept, God took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh in that place. From that rib, the Lord formed a woman and brought her to the man. Then the man said, "Now yes, this is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because God took her out of man." That is why a man leaves his father and mother to unite with his wife, and the two become one person. Both the man and his wife were naked, but they felt no shame. Genesis chapter 3. The serpent was the most clever of all the animals that the Lord God had made. She asked the woman, "Is it true that God told you not to eat from any tree in the garden?" "We can eat the fruit of any tree," the woman replied, "except the fruit from the tree in the middle of the garden. God told us not to eat it or touch it. If we do, we will die." "You will not die," the serpent said. "God knows that when you eat the fruit of that tree, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." When the woman saw that the tree was beautiful and that its fruit was good to eat, and that it would make her wise, she took some of the fruit and ate it. She also gave some to her husband, and he ate it. At that moment, their eyes were opened, and they realized they were naked. So they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves loincloths. When the cool evening breeze was blowing, the man and his wife heard the Lord God walking about in the garden, and they hid from the Lord God among the trees. Then the Lord God called to the man, "Where are you?" He replied, "I heard you walking in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, so I hid." "Who told you that you were naked?" God asked. "Have you eaten from the tree whose fruit I commanded you not to eat?" The man replied, "The woman you gave me the fruit, and I ate it." And the Lord God asked the woman, "What have you done?" The woman replied, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." So the Lord God said to the serpent, "Because you have done this, you are cursed more than all the livestock and wild animals. You will crawl on your belly, and you will eat dust all the days of your life. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel." To the woman, God said, "I will make your pains in childbirth very severe. With painful labor, you will give birth to children. Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you." To Adam, God said, "Because you listened to your wife and ate the fruit from the tree about which I commanded you, you must not eat from it. Cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil, you will eat food from it all the days of your life." Genesis chapter 4. Adam had relations with Eve, his wife, and she became pregnant. Eve gave birth to a son and said, "With the help of God, the Lord, I have had a male son." She named him Cain. Then she had another son called Abel, Cain's brother. Abel was a shepherd of sheep, and Cain was a farmer. Time passed. One day Cain took some products of the land and offered them to God, the Lord. Abel, on the other hand, took the first lamb born in his flock. He killed the lamb and offered the best parts to the Lord. The Lord was pleased with Abel and his offering, but rejected Cain and his offering. Cain became furious and closed his face. Then the Lord said, "Why are you angry? Why do you walk sullen? If you had done what is right, you would be smiling, but you acted badly, and so judgment is at your door waiting for you. It wants to dominate you, but you must overcome it." Then Cain said to Abel, his brother, "Let's go to the field." When they were in the field, Cain attacked Abel, his brother, and killed him. Later, the Lord asked Cain, "Where is Abel, your brother?" "I don't know. Am I my brother's keeper? Why did you do this? From the ground your brother's blood is crying out, asking for vengeance. Because of this you will be cursed and will no longer be able to cultivate the land. For when you killed your brother, the land opened its mouth to drink his blood. When you prepare the land to plant, it will produce nothing. You will walk through the world always fleeing. Lord, I cannot bear such a heavy punishment. Worth today you are expelling me from this land. I will have to walk through the world always fleeing and hiding from your presence. And anyone who finds me will want to kill me. That will not happen. For if anyone kills you, 7 people from their family will be killed in vengeance." Then the Lord put a sign on Cain, so that if someone found him, they would not kill him. Then Cain left the presence of the Lord and went to live in the region of Nod, which is east of Eden. Cain and his wife had a son and named him Enoch. Later, Cain built a city and named it Enoch, the name of his son. Enoch was the father of Irad, who was the father of Mehujael, who was the father of Mephushel, who was the father of Lamech. Lamech had 2 wives. One was named Ada and the other Zillah. Ada had a son named Jabal, who was the ancestor of those who raise cattle and live in tents. Jabal had a brother named Jubal, who was the ancestor of all musicians who play harp and flute. Dillah, on the other hand, had a son named Tubal-Cain, who was a blacksmith and made objects of bronze and iron. Tubal-Cain had a sister named Naamah. One day Lamech said to his wives, "Ada and Zillah, listen to me, wives of Lamech. Mark well what I say. I killed a man because he hurt me. I killed a boy because he wounded me. If 7 people are killed to pay for Cain's death, then, if someone kills me, 77 people from the killer's family will be killed." Ada and his wife had another son. She said, "God has given me another son to take the place of Abel, who was killed by Cain." And she named him Seth. Seth became the father of a son and named him Enosh. It was at that time that the name Lord began to be used in the worship of God.